You know what is slowly eating away at your life. It is not your enemies who openly hate you. It is not the people who mock you behind your back. It is your politeness. It is your neediness. It is that desperate need inside you to be liked by people who do not even respect you. Right now, in this moment, someone is using your good manners as a weapon against you. They are counting on you to smile when they disrespect you. They are banking on you staying quiet when they push past your boundaries. And the saddest part is, you do it every single time. You swallow your pride, you force a grin, and you let them get away with it. But here is what nobody tells you. Politeness without boundaries is just weakness wearing a mask. It is you pretending that everything is fine, while they slowly take pieces of you. Machiavelli understood something that most people spend their entire lives refusing to accept. He knew that the world does not reward the nice guy. It rewards the guy who knows exactly when to stop being nice. The guy who can flip a switch and become ruthless the moment the situation demands it. And let me be very clear with you right now. I am not talking about being mean for no reason. I am not talking about being cruel or heartless. I am talking about strategic ruthlessness, the kind that protects your time, your energy, your peace, and your damn dignity. There are moments in life where being polite is actually a form of self-destruction. There are moments where your kindness becomes the very weapon someone else uses to stab you in the back. And if you cannot recognize these moments, you will spend your whole life getting played by people who spotted your weakness the second they met you. Think about it for a second. How many times have you let someone disrespect you because you did not want to make a scene? How many times have you said yes when every single part of you was screaming no? How many times have you apologized for setting a boundary that you knew you needed? That cycle ends today, because I am about to show you the 9 specific situations where being polite is the worst thing you can possibly do. These are the moments where you need to be ruthless. Not cruel, not evil, just ruthless, direct, uncompromising, and unmovable. This is not about becoming a bad person. This is about becoming a person that bad people cannot manipulate. This is about taking back your power from everyone who has been using your kindness as a doormat. So if you are tired of being the nice person who finishes last, if you are done being the one everyone takes advantage of, if you are ready to learn when to drop the smile and show your teeth, then pay attention to every word in this video, because by the end, you are either going to start respecting yourself, or you are going to keep letting other people teach you that you do not deserve respect. The choice is yours, and it always has been. Now I want you to drop this affirmation in the comments right now. I protect my peace ruthlessly. Say it like you mean it. Let us get into it. The first situation is when someone slightly disrespects you. This is where most people lose the game before it even starts. Someone makes a small comment, a little jab, a tiny disrespect, and you let it slide because it seems small, because you do not want to overreact, because you want to be the bigger person. That is exactly what they are counting on. Machiavelli once said, men ought either to be well treated or crushed, because they can avenge themselves of lighter injuries. Of more serious ones, they cannot. Therefore, the injury that is to be done to a man ought to be of such a kind that one does not stand in fear of revenge. Let me break that down for you. Small disrespects are tests. They are checking to see if you will defend yourself. And when you do not, you have just given them permission to go further. You have shown them your weakness. You have taught them that you are someone who can be pushed around. The first slight is never the last one. It is the beginning of a pattern. Today it is a dismissive comment. Next week it is talking over you. Next month it is taking credit for your work. It escalates because you did not stop it when it was small. So what do? You address it immediately. Not aggressively, not emotionally, but directly and firmly. You look them in the eye, and you make it clear that what just happened is not acceptable. You do not laugh it off. You do not minimize it. You do not pretend it did not bother you. Because here is the truth. People repeat behavior that goes unchecked. If disrespecting you has no consequences, why would they ever stop? And I know what you are thinking. But what if I am being too sensitive? What if it was not that serious? Listen to me carefully. If it bothered you, it was serious enough. Your feelings do not need to be justified to anyone. Your boundaries do not need approval from anyone. The moment you start questioning whether you deserve respect is the moment you have already lost it. Ruthless people do not debate whether they should defend themselves. They just do it instantly, without hesitation and without apology. You want people to treat you with respect. Show them what happens when they do not. Not with anger, not with drama, but with immediate, calm, unshakable consequences. Pull back. Create distance. Let them feel the absence of your energy, because the person who disrespects you slightly today will disrespect you greatly tomorrow if you do not teach them otherwise. The second situation is when someone talks over you repeatedly. You are in a meeting, or you are in a conversation. You start talking, and someone cuts you off. Once you let it go. Twice you start to notice. 3 times, and now it is a power play. And if you keep letting it happen, you have just accepted your position at the bottom of the hierarchy. Talking over someone is not accidental when it keeps happening. It is dominance. It is them saying without words that what they have to say matters more than what you have to say. That their voice deserves space and yours does not. Most people handle this by talking louder, by trying to compete, by waiting for a gap that never comes. That is the wrong move. You are playing their game on their terms. Here is what ruthless people do. They stop talking mid-sentence and go completely silent. They let the interruption hang in the air. They let everyone in the room feel the awkwardness of what just happened. Then they wait. They do not rush to fill the silence. They do not nervously laugh. They just wait and watch the person who interrupted them squirm. And then when the moment is right, they say calmly, "I was not finished." 4 words, no aggression, no emotion, just a statement of fact that makes it crystal clear this is not happening again. Or better yet, you address the pattern directly. You say, "I have noticed you interrupted me 3 times in the last 10 minutes. I need you to let me finish." Public, direct, and impossible to ignore. Will it be uncomfortable? Absolutely. Will some people think you are being too much? Probably. Do you care? You should not. Because the alternative is spending the rest of your life being silenced by people who have learned they can steal your voice without consequences. Here is what most people do not understand. The person who keeps interrupting you is not doing it by accident. They have sized you up and decided you will not fight back. They have calculated that you value being polite more than being heard. And they are right until you prove them wrong. Your voice has value. Your thoughts matter. Your words deserve to be heard. And anyone who repeatedly tries to take that from you is not someone you need to be polite to. They are someone you need to put in their place. Stop shrinking. Stop accommodating. Stop making yourself smaller so other people can feel bigger. The world has enough quiet people who let themselves be walked over. It needs more people who refuse to be silenced. I want you to drop this affirmation in the comments. My voice matters. Say it out loud. The third situation is when you are pressured to forgive quickly. Someone hurts you, betrays you, lies to you, disrespects you, and before you have even processed the pain, people start pressuring you to forgive. Let it go. Move on. Be the bigger person. Do not hold grudges. Everyone has advice about your forgiveness, except the person who actually wronged you. Machiavelli once said, "Benefits should be granted little by little, so that they may be better enjoyed." The same applies to forgiveness. Real forgiveness is not something you hand out like free samples. It is earned slowly through changed behavior, through genuine remorse, through time. But people do not want you to take time. They want you to forgive quickly because your anger makes them uncomfortable. Your boundaries make them feel guilty. Your refusal to pretend everything is fine disrupts their peace. So they disguise their discomfort as wisdom. They tell you that holding on to anger will hurt you more than it hurts them. They say forgiveness is for you, not for them. And technically they are not wrong, but they are also not right. because forgiveness on someone else's timeline is not forgiveness. It is compliance. It is you swallowing your pain so other people do not have to sit with the consequences of what they did or what they allowed to happen. Real forgiveness happens when you are ready, not when they want you to be ready, not when it is convenient for them, not when enough time has passed according to someone else's clock. And here is what ruthless people know. Some things do not deserve forgiveness. Some betrayals are too deep. Some lies are too destructive. Some people have shown you exactly who they are, and believing them the first time is not holding a grudge. It is having standards. You do not owe anyone forgiveness. You especially do not owe it to people who have not apologized, who have not changed, who have not done a single thing to repair the damage they caused. So when someone pressures you to forgive, ask yourself, whose comfort are they really worried about? Yours or theirs? And if the answer is theirs, you have your answer about whether their advice is worth taking. Take your time, feel your feelings, protect your peace, and if forgiveness eventually comes, let it be because you chose it, not because someone guilted you into it. Your healing does not run on anyone else's schedule. Now I want you to drop this affirmation in the comments. I forgive on my terms. The fourth situation is when someone keeps you emotionally busy. You know this person. They always have a crisis. They always have drama. They always need your advice, your time, your emotional energy. And somehow their emergencies always become your responsibility. Today they are upset about something at work. Tomorrow it is relationship problems. Next week it is family drama. There is always something, and you are always the one they call. At first you feel good about it. You feel needed, important, like a good friend. But slowly you start to notice something. Every conversation is about them. Every interaction drains you. You give and give and give, and somehow you are always left empty. That is not friendship. That is extraction. These people are emotional vampires. They do not want your advice. If they did, they would actually take it. They want your energy. They want someone to absorb their chaos, so they do not have to deal with it themselves. They want a dumping ground, and you volunteered for the job. And here is the trap. If you try to pull back, they make you feel guilty. They remind you of all the times they needed you. They act hurt that you are not available. They make you feel like setting a boundary is abandoning them. But let me ask you something. When was the last time they showed up for you? When was the last time they asked how you were doing and actually waited for an answer? When was the last time this relationship felt balanced? If you cannot remember, that is your answer. Ruthless people understand something crucial. Your emotional energy is a resource, and some people will drain it dry if you let them. They will take everything you give and still come back asking for more, because you have never shown them there is a limit. So you set one. You stop being available every time they call. You stop dropping everything to solve problems they are not even trying to solve themselves. You stop letting their chaos become your emergency. And when they push back, because they will, you stay firm. You say, I care about you, but I cannot be your only support system. You need to talk to a professional. Or you simply say, I do not have the capacity for this right now. It sounds harsh. It feels mean. But it is necessary, because protecting your peace is not selfish. It is survival. Stop setting yourself on fire to keep other people warm. The fifth situation is when your time is treated as flexible. They show up late. They cancel at the last minute. They change plans without asking. They assume you will just adjust because your time is not really important anyway. And you do adjust. You wait. You reschedule. You accommodate. Because you do not want to be difficult. Because you want to be understanding. Because surely they did not mean anything by it. But they did mean something by it. They meant that your time does not matter as much as theirs. Machiavelli once said, the first method for estimating the intelligence of a ruler is to look at the men he has around him. The same applies to you. Look at the people in your life. Do they respect your time, or do they treat it like something they can waste without consequence? Because here is the truth. People who respect you show up on time. They keep commitments. They value your schedule as much as their own. And when something comes up, they communicate early and apologize genuinely. People who do not respect you. They are consistently late. They cancel at the last minute. They make plans and break them like it is nothing. And they always have an excuse ready. 1 time is an accident. 2 times is a pattern. 3 times is a choice. And if you keep accepting it, you are teaching them that disrespecting your time has no consequences. So what do ruthless people do? They leave. You said you would meet at 2. It is 2:15, and they are not there. You leave. No angry text, no lecture, just gone. And when they finally show up and ask where you are, you say simply, "I waited until 2. You were not there, so I left." They will be shocked. They will think you are being unreasonable. They will say it was only 15 minutes, and that is when you know you did the right thing. Because someone who truly respected your time would not think 15 minutes of it was disposable. Stop waiting for people who make you wait. Stop rearranging your life for people who would not rearrange their afternoon for you. Stop accepting breadcrumbs of respect from people who should be giving you the whole meal. Your time is the one thing you can never get back. Every minute someone wastes is a minute of your life you will never see again. Treat it accordingly. Protect it fiercely and cut off anyone who treats it like it is worthless. Because if you do not value your time, nobody else will either. Drop this affirmation in the comments. My time is valuable. The 6th situation is when you explain more than necessary. You set a boundary, and then you spend the next 10 minutes explaining why, justifying, giving reasons, building a case like you are on trial. You say, "I cannot make it tonight because I have this thing, and I am really tired, and I have been so busy, and I know you will understand, and maybe we can do it next week, and I am really sorry." Stop. Just stop. No is a complete sentence. You do not owe anyone a dissertation on why you are saying it. Here is what happens when you over-explain. You give people ammunition to argue with you. Every reason you give is an opening for them to say, "But that is not a big deal," or "Can you not just push that back?" or "I really need you though." They are not trying to understand. They are trying to find the weak point in your defense so they can break through it. Ruthless people do not explain. They state, "I am not available. That does not work for me. I am not doing that. Period. End of discussion." And when the other person pushes for reasons, they do not provide them. They just repeat the boundary. Like I said, "I am not available." Same words, same tone, no elaboration because they understand something critical. People who respect you accept your no without interrogation. The ones who demand explanations, they are the ones looking for a way to change your mind. They do not want to understand your reasoning. They want to find a flaw in it. Think about it. When someone you respect tells you they cannot do something, do you grill them about why? Do you demand proof that their reason is valid? No. You accept it and move on, because you trust that they have their reasons, and those reasons are good enough. So why are you giving detailed explanations to people who have already shown they do not respect your boundaries? Your decisions do not need defending. Your choices do not need justification. Your boundaries do not need a PowerPoint presentation. Say what you mean what you say, and do not fill the silence with explanations that only weaken your position. The more you explain, the less powerful you become. The more you justify, the more you are admitting that your boundary needs approval to be valid. It does not. You said no. That is all the explanation required. Drop this affirmation in the comments. No explanation needed. The 7th situation is when you apologize for being firm. You finally stand up for yourself. You set a boundary. You say no. You call out disrespect, and then like clockwork, you apologize for it. You say, "Sorry if that came across harsh. I did not mean to be rude. I hope you are not upset with me. You just apologized for having a spine." This is one of the most self-destructive patterns people fall into. You do the hard work of standing up for yourself, and then you immediately undermine it by apologizing for doing it. You hand back all the power you just claimed. Let me be clear. Being firm is not something you apologize for. Setting boundaries is not rude. Demanding respect is not mean. And you do not owe anyone an apology for refusing to be a doormat. When you apologize for being firm, here is what you are really saying. I know I just stood up for myself, but I am not really sure I am allowed to do that, so please do not be mad at me. You are asking permission to have boundaries. You are seeking approval for self-respect, and the person on the receiving end hears that weakness loud and clear. They learn that if they act hurt or offended, you will back down. They learn that your boundaries are not really boundaries. They are suggestions that can be negotiated if they apply enough pressure. So they will keep pushing. They will keep testing. They will keep making you feel bad for standing up for yourself, because it works. Ruthless people do not apologize for firmness. When they set a boundary, they let it stand. When someone acts hurt by it, they do not rush to comfort them. They let the person sit with the discomfort of being told no. Because here is the thing. If someone is upset that you set a boundary, that is information. It tells you they were benefiting from you not having one. It tells you they preferred you weak and accommodating. It tells you they do not actually have your best interests at heart. Good people respect boundaries. They might be surprised by them if you have never set them before, but they respect them. The people who get angry or hurt when you stand up for yourself, those are the people who were counting on you never doing it. Stop apologizing for taking up space. Stop apologizing for having standards. Stop apologizing for choosing yourself. Your firmness is not something to apologize for. It is something to be proud of. I want you to drop this affirmation in the comments. I stand firm, unapologetically. The 8th situation is when you keep the peace but lose yourself. You do not want drama, so you stay quiet. You do not want conflict, so you agree. You do not want to upset anyone, so you betray yourself over and over until you do not even recognize who you have become. You have kept the peace. Congratulations. You have also lost yourself in the process. Look, I get it. Conflict is uncomfortable. Confrontation feels scary. It is easier to just go along to get along. Easier to bite your tongue than speak your truth. Easier to fake a smile than risk someone being upset with you. But easy does not mean right. And peace that costs you your authenticity is not peace. It is surrender. Think about all the times you have swallowed your real opinion to avoid an argument. All the times you have gone along with plans you hated to keep everyone happy. All the times you have pretended to be fine when you were falling apart inside. You have become an expert at keeping the peace. But whose peace are you keeping? Not yours. You are at war with yourself every single day, fighting the urge to scream your truth, suppressing who you really are, to maintain a harmony that does not even include you. That is not peacekeeping, that is self-abandonment. And the worst part, the people you are doing this for do not even appreciate it. They think you are genuinely happy. They think you genuinely agree. They have no idea you are dying inside because you have gotten so good at pretending. Ruthless people understand that real peace does not come from avoiding conflict. It comes from being so aligned with yourself that external conflict does not shake you. It comes from knowing that disappointing others is sometimes necessary to avoid disappointing yourself. You want to know what is more exhausting than dealing with conflict? Living a life that is not yours. Spending decades playing a character you created to make other people comfortable. Looking in the mirror at 50 and realizing you have no idea who you actually are. Some conflict is necessary. Some relationships need to be shaken up. Some people need to be upset with you, because the alternative is you being upset with yourself forever. Stop sacrificing yourself on the altar of other people's comfort. Stop making yourself smaller so everyone else can stay comfortable. Stop keeping a peace that does not include you. The right people will love the real you. The wrong ones will leave. Let them. Drop this affirmation in the comments. I choose myself. The 9th situation is when someone keeps testing after warnings. You have warned them. You have been clear. You have stated your boundary multiple times, and they keep testing it. They keep pushing. They keep seeing if maybe this time you will not follow through. This is the moment that separates people who have boundaries from people who just talk about them. Because here is the truth. A boundary without consequences is just a suggestion. So if this video resonated with you, hit that like button, share this with someone who needs to hear it, and subscribe to this channel because we are just getting started. Stop being polite to people who do not deserve it. I will see you in the next one.